Good day and welcome. You're watching St. Martin News Desk, where we bring you the latest and most important stories around the island and beyond. With your anchor crew, Alston Lawrence, Glenda York, Tiziana Hart, and Mizzy with the Sunshine Report. This broadcast is brought to you by TV15 and proudly produced by Great Bay Media Studios in Phillipsburg, St. Martin. And now, let's jump straight into today's top headlines.
Police intensified crime crackdown after violent 24 hours across St. Martin. Police are investigating a series of violent incidents that unfolded across St. Martin within hours of each other as officers continue an island-wide crackdown on crime. The most serious incident happened around 2 a.m. Friday morning at a bar on Windsor Road in KB, where an attempted armed robbery turned violent. Police say a man dressed in black entered the establishment with a handgun before a struggle broke out. The suspect opened fire, injuring 2 people before fleeing the scene. One victim remains in serious but stable condition, while the second is listed as critical. Detectives and forensic teams are actively searching for the gunman. Just hours later, around 10:35 a.m., 2 masked men robbed a jewelry store on Front Street. Police say one suspect threatened employees with a handgun while the other smashed display cases with a hammer before escaping on a scooter with stolen jewelry. Investigators are reviewing evidence and appealing for witnesses or surveillance footage. On DC Drive in Cul-de-Sac, officers responded to another firearm incident after a dispute escalated. Police say one suspect allegedly struck another person with a gun before firing a single shot. No one was injured and the suspect was arrested at the scene. Late Friday night, more gunfire erupted in a Simpson Bay parking lot where multiple shots struck 2 parked vehicles. The shooter fled on a scooter and no injuries were reported. Meanwhile, KPSM's Flex team carried out extensive traffic and public safety controls overnight, inspecting 42 scooters, impounding 19 vehicles and scooters, and seizing more than 118 grams of marijuana, 2 ecstasy tablets, and a knife. 2 officers suffered minor injuries after a driver fled a police checkpoint, abandoning a vehicle later found with a significant quantity of marijuana. Police say targeted enforcement operations will continue as they work to remove illegal weapons, disrupt criminal activity, and keep residents and visitors safe. Anyone with information on any of these incidents is urged to contact the police force or call the anonymous tip line at 9300. One St. Martin calls for public voice on border agreement. The One St. Martin Association is calling for an island-wide dialogue and referendum following the recent ratification of the St. Martin border agreement between France and the Kingdom of the Netherlands. In a statement, the organization described the decision as a missed historic opportunity, arguing that the island's division traces back to an agreement reached in 1648 between 2 colonial powers without the knowledge, participation, or consent of the people of St. Martin. One St. Martin says those negotiations took place during a period when indigenous people and Africans brought to the island in bondage were denied political rights and treated as property. The association argues that, rather than using the current process to begin a broader discussion about the island's constitutional future, governments have instead chosen to give modern legal recognition to a colonial-era division. While acknowledging the need for legal certainty over issues such as jurisdiction, environmental management, maritime boundaries, and the long-disputed Oyster Pond area, 1SXM says legal clarity should not be confused with democratic legitimacy. The organization notes that no island-wide referendum or broad public consultation was held before the agreement moved forward, and argues that constitutional questions affecting the island's identity, territory, and future should ultimately be decided with the direct participation of the people. One SXM is renewing its call for meaningful public dialogue, including a referendum, maintaining that the future of St. Martin should be shaped not only by governments, but by the people who call the island home. Health officials issue fish warning and reinforce food safety advice. Health officials are urging the public to avoid eating fish from the Fresh Pond and Great Salt Pond after a large number of dead fish were discovered in the water channel near the Illage Road roundabout. The Inspectorate of Public Health says the cause of the fish kill is still under investigation. Government crews are working to remove the dead fish, while high temperatures are accelerating decomposition and creating a strong odor. Authorities warn that the fish recovered from the area, whether dead or alive, may pose a serious health risk to both people and animals. Residents are instead encouraged to purchase fish only from approved vendors inspected by the Food Safety Division. Meanwhile, Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Luke Mercelina, serving as Acting Minister of Public Health, is also reminding the public to practice good food safety following a Psychospora outbreak under the investigation in the United States. Although there are no confirmed cases in St. Martin, officials recommend thoroughly washing fresh fruits and vegetables, preventing cross-contamination during food preparation, and seeking medical attention if severe or persistent diarrhea develops. Health officials say these simple precautions can help protect families while authorities continue monitoring both situations.
Hello, my people. My name is Glenda York of Sit, Sip and Chat and Moms in Paradise podcast. You can find us on TV15 St. Martin, TVC St. Kitts, and on YouTube. Reporting from Great Bay Media Studios in St. Martin, your NEWSDESK feature story is coming up. But first, here is Mizzy with the Sunshine Report.
Hey there, it's Mizzy with the Sunshine Report, straight out of Sunshine City, St. Martin, bringing you all the warmth and the sunshine you need to kickstart your day. So let's dive into today's forecast and see how the skies are treating us.
You could talk to your family, talk to your friends. Affordability and convenience. Community connection, that makes sense. Reliability with experience. Hey, for every love, every adventure. Number one provider, they got ya. We tell them your data is always on. You can opt out whenever you want. Tell them we always on. For every moment when you want more. Tell them we always on. Stay connected when you want to roll. Control my data, yeah, yeah, yeah. Always connected every time, everywhere. Money low, but I never fair. I know, tell them is there. Connectivity, that's what I like. Flexibility, that's what I like. Reliability, that's what I like. Tell them sign
Welcome to the BTP Cybercrime Awareness video. What is cybercrime? Cybercrime is any illegal activity that uses computers, smartphones, or the internet to harm people, steal information, or cause damage. Now, how to protect yourself. First, use strong passwords. Also, keep your devices and antivirus software updated. Enable two-factor authentication. Research before sending money. Use trusted platforms. Log out of accounts on shared/public devices. Scan the QR code for more tips. Stay alert. Stay secure.
Government strengthens support for national sports. The government of St. Martin is expanding its investment in sports with new long-term funding for both the St. Martin Sports Federation and the National Sports Institute. Education, Culture, Youth and Sport Minister, the Honorable Melissa Gumbs, has signed a structural subsidy agreement with the St. Martin Sports Federation for 2026. The funding will support national team uniforms, organizational development, and day-to-day operations, while the Federation will strengthen financial reporting and help the ministry collect data to guide future sports policy. At the same time, government has approved more than $1.26 million in funding for the National Sports Institute to manage and maintain public sports facilities, including the Raoul Illich Sports Complex, L.B. Scott Sports Auditorium, Melford Hazel Sports Complex, and several community courts across the island. Minister Gumbs says the goal is to build a stronger, more transparent sports sector while improving access to quality facilities and creating greater opportunities for athletes. She also encouraged the private sector to partner with local sports organizations, saying investing in sport is an investment in St. Martin's youth and future. MP York proposes road fund reform. Member of Parliament Darrell York has submitted his first legislative initiative proposing reforms to strengthen how St. Martin finances and maintains its road network. The proposal seeks to modernize the country's road fund by creating a more stable, long-term approach to infrastructure investment. York says the legislation is designed to reduce maintenance backlogs, improve accountability, and ensure funding for roads is protected through law rather than annual budget decisions. According to the MP, the proposal was informed by recommendations from the General Audit Chamber and aims to move the country away from reactive road repairs toward consistent planning and investment. York says well-maintained roads are essential for public safety, emergency services, tourism, transportation, and economic growth. The proposed legislation has now been submitted to Parliament and will move through the parliamentary review process, where its details will be debated before any final decision is made. Caribbean Baking Awards Festival coming to St. Martin. St. Martin is set to welcome bakers, pastry chefs, and culinary enthusiasts from across the region as the 2026 Caribbean Baking Awards Festival comes to the Ali's Convention Center on July 25th and 26th. Held under the theme One Caribbean, One Stage, One Sweet Celebration, the event is expected to attract participants from more than 17 Caribbean islands and territories, showcasing the region's rich baking traditions and culinary creativity. Founded by St. Martin native Shanda Webster Glasgow, the festival promotes Caribbean culture, tourism, and youth development while creating opportunities for aspiring bakers through scholarships and mentorship. Saturday's program will feature live baking competitions, tastings, cultural performances, and entertainment, while Sunday's all-white gala will recognize outstanding achievements across the Caribbean baking community. The gala will also honor local culinary pioneers Carl Hausen of Carl & Sons Unique Bakery and Antonia Canhai of Antonia's Cake with Lifetime Achievement Awards. Organizers say the festival continues to position St. Martin as a growing destination for culinary tourism and regional cultural events.
Hey there, I'm Venicia Herbert, and welcome to the Community Billboard. This is your space where the people, places, and heartbeat of the St. Martin community get to speak for themselves. Whether it's an event worth showing up for, a business worth knowing about, or a cause worth caring about, you'll hear it right here. So, Settle in, because what's coming up next just might be exactly what you've been looking for. Welcome to the NEWSDESK Community Billboard.
Heavy sweating, weakness, dizziness, headache, nausea. A fast heartbeat may be signs of heat exhaustion. Move the person to a cool or shaded area, loosen clothing, and help them cool down. Confusion, fainting, seizures, or very hot skin may signal heat stroke. Call emergency services immediately. Know the warning signs and act quickly. A message from Collective Prevention Services within the Ministry of Public Health, Social Development, and Labor.
To be part of our mailing list, send an email to newsdesksxm@gmail.com.
Let's put everything on the table. People always give their opinion, and you can either take it or crunch it. Let them judge. We give in to the most irresistible flavor. We devour every nugget that falls in our hands, especially when it's our crunchy fried chicken. And let the crumbs fly if needed. Let them keep judging. We'll keep indulging. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
You could talk to your family, talk to your friends. Affordability and convenience. Community connection, that makes sense. Reliability with experience. Hey, for every love, every adventure. Number one provider, they got ya. We tell them your data is always on. You can opt out whenever you want. Tell them we always on. For every moment when you want more. Tell them we always on. Stay connected when you want the road. Control my data, yeah, yeah, yeah. Always connected every time, everywhere. Money low, but I never fair. I know, tell them it's there. Connectivity, that's what I like. Flexibility, that's what I like. Reliability, that's what I like. Tell them, sign me up for life. Tell them we always on. For every moment when you want more. Come tell them we always on. Stay connected when you want to go. Come tell them we always on. For every moment when you want more. Tell them we always on. Stay connected when you want to road.
Welcome to the BTP Cybercrime Awareness video. What is cybercrime? Cybercrime is any illegal activity that uses computers, smartphones, or the internet to harm people, steal information, or cause damage. Now, how to protect yourself. First, use strong passwords. Also, keep your devices and antivirus software updated. Enable two-factor authentication. Research before sending money. Use trusted platforms. Log out of accounts on shared/public devices. Scan the QR code for more tips. Stay alert. Stay secure.
Before we wrap up, we take a moment each day to check in with our neighbors across the region. There's always a story worth paying attention to. Here's today's regional headline.
CARICOM renews call for Caribbean decolonization. CARICOM has renewed its call for the decolonization of the Caribbean, placing the issue at the center of its updated Reparatory Justice Manifesto. The revised document, endorsed by Caribbean leaders, argues that the region remains the most colonized part of the world, with several British, French, Dutch, and American territories still lacking full sovereignty. Speaking in London, Sir Hilary Beckles, chairman of the CARICOM Reparations Commission, called on King Charles III and former colonial powers to support decolonization alongside reparations. He said the Caribbean's remaining colonies should have the opportunity to determine their own political future, and warned that colonialism continues to deny people full self-determination. The manifesto specifically calls on countries that still administer Caribbean territories to listen to the wishes of their African-descended and indigenous populations regarding independence, self-government, and reparatory justice. The proposal has sparked debate in some overseas territories. In Bermuda, legal experts question whether the position reflects the wishes of residents, noting that many currently supporting maintaining their constitutional relationship with the United Kingdom. Bermuda's government also clarified that, as an associate member of CARICOM, it was not involved in drafting the reparations manifesto. The updated document expands beyond financial reparations to include constitutional reform, climate justice, and decolonization, reinforcing CARICOM's position that political self-determination and reparatory justice are inseparable parts of the region's future.
Welcome back. Each day we take a moment to go beyond the headlines and look deeper into the issues, people, and conversations shaping life here on St. Martin. Welcome to today's News Desk feature.
Justice Day 2026 was observed in St. Martin with ceremony, reflection, and a visible show of unity across the justice chain. But this year's observance also carried a deeper message. Justice is not only about uniforms, courtrooms, laws, or parades. It is about whether the entire system works, from policing and immigration to prosecution, corrections, rehabilitation, and public trust. The Ministry of Justice commemorated the day with a church service at the Methodist Church on Front Street, followed by the annual Justice Parade through Phillipsburg. Justice professionals from across the island took part, including the police force, Immigration and Border Protection Service, Customs, the Coast Guard, the Royal Netherlands Marechaussee, the Royal Netherlands Marines, the Voluntary Corps of St. Martin, French side counterparts, and other justice institutions. Together, the parade served as a public symbol of discipline, cooperation, and the shared responsibility of protecting the people of St. Martin. Honorable Minister of Justice Natalie Tacklin used the occasion to reflect on the personal nature of justice in a small island community. She said justice on St. Martin is not an abstract idea. It is deeply personal because the people serving the justice system are also part of the same community they protect. The minister also reminded justice workers that institutions are only as strong as the people inside them. Buildings can be renovated, systems can be modernized, technology can be upgraded, but integrity, compassion, professionalism, and courage remain the real foundation of justice. Her message recognized the daily sacrifices of justice personnel, the long hours, missed family moments, pressure, risk, and quiet service that often go unseen. But while the ministry focused on appreciation and unity, the police union, NAPB St. Martin, used Justice Day to also highlight serious concerns. Union President Marcus Pantoflet said justice must be measured by the strength and integrity of the entire criminal justice system, not only by arrest, enforcement, or court verdicts. He pointed specifically to recent findings of the Law Enforcement Council concerning the St. Martin prison. Those findings recognize some progress, including renovations to isolation facilities, the launch of the Tour Costa Possible reintegration program, and steps toward constructing a new prison. But they also showed that many critical recommendations remain unimplemented years after first being made. For the police union, that is a serious warning. Police officers may investigate crimes and bring suspects before the courts, but public safety cannot be achieved by policing alone. If the correctional system lacks enough staff, proper rehabilitation programs, effective oversight, and adequate resources, then the entire justice chain becomes weaker. That weakness places more pressure on police, immigration, customs, corrections, prosecutors, the courts, and ultimately the community. Pantoflet also stressed that justice must include safe working conditions for correctional officers and law enforcement personnel, as well as meaningful rehabilitation and reintegration opportunities for inmates. That point is important. A justice system that only punishes but does not rehabilitate risks sending people back into society without the support, discipline, or preparation needed to change course. Reducing repeat offending is not only good for inmates, it is essential for public safety. So, Justice Day 2026 carried two messages at the same time. One was gratitude for the men and women who serve in uniform at borders, in prisons, in courtrooms, in investigations, and behind the scenes. The other was urgency. Urgency to invest in justice institutions, complete long-delayed reforms, implement recommendations, improve prison conditions, strengthen rehabilitation, and support the people working inside the system.
That's all the time we have for today's edition of St. Martin News Desk. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember, new episodes premiere every weekday at 8 a.m. on TV 15 and across all our social media platforms. From all of us here at News Desk, we wish you a fantastic week ahead. Until next time, stay friendly, St. Martin.